to the Now Morning Show. This morning on Spotlight, Raucus and I are joined by the treasurer of the Interreligious Organization of Trinidad and Tobago, Bishop Daniel, who of course is, which is a mainstay right here in Trinidad and Tobago's landscape. Good morning, Bishop Daniel, and welcome to the show.
Pleasant morning to you all and the nation at large.
It's such a pleasure to have you with us on the show this morning. Bishop, before we get into any deep discussions, let's briefly get an understanding of the IRO for those who may not know, because we see you as a major part of the landscape regardless of creed or race. Why is that?
Yes, please, because the Interreligious Organization of Trinidad and Tobago, this organization, is a significant and established organization so that all religious organizations or most can come together under a common good so that we can understand one another's practices and have knowledge of same so that the nation at large could see and know that the interreligious organization, having been a faith-based organization, is setting a light that each and everyone can see and follow to the great goal of eternity.
Bishop Daniel, how does the IRO work together to ensure that there is interreligious harmony? That's something, of course, so important to our lives.
We work together by having, firstly, our meeting. Our meeting days are every third Saturday at 1 p.m. at our office, which is at Government Plaza, Richmond Street, Port of Spain. And our getting together is discussing one another business and our operations so that we can let the nation at large know how we operate, why we get together, and there is no segregation between any of the organizations.
Bishop, help me to understand. I just want to understand a little bit more of what you're saying there in terms of you want the nation to understand how you work together. How do you work together for the betterment of the nation?
Well, we work together for the betterment of the nation by having support, government support, or individual business, the sector, the NGOs support, by they calling us or assisting us in all our endeavors so that the public can know and see who or what is IRO and know fully well of IRO, and thereby we can encourage the nation, the lives, how to live and how to carry about themselves and to be their brother's keeper.
Something that, of course, is quite important as we
know. Yes,
please.
Bishop,
what religions are members of the IRO in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, there are many religions involved. For instance, we have the Anglican, the Catholic, the Spiritual Baptist, the Orisha, the Baha'i, the Hindus, many Muslims, such as we also have I'm trying to remember the name of the organization, but we have many organizations. We also have I cannot recall the name at the moment, but they are there with us. Many organizations are there with us.
It's good to know, okay, so there are so many different organizations coming together and religious bodies as well, because we understand that universality principle, but let's be frank that sometimes there may not necessarily be that meeting of the minds on the ground itself. How is that dealt with by the IRO?
When you are when you say on the ground, could you, are you speaking about when we get together, or you are speaking?
I'm referencing the lay people, so not those of you who are leaders within your religious organizations, but those who come to mass, those who go to service, those who go to temple. Sometimes you do see that disparity when it comes to what the beliefs may be as to whether or not there should be unity. How do you work towards that and, well, deal with
Well,
that?
we work together by encouraging the head of the various organizations to let their congregation know, or the establishment, or the members, or the gathering know fully well that we are here for a common purpose. And when you are your brother's keeper, it means to say that we understand one another. We try our best to understand one another, support one another, and always let love prevail in all our undertakings.
Bishop, I have to come back. So she asked about a level on the ground, right? I want
Yes.
to know what has happened in the meetings, because if it is that we have all these different religions coming together, I'm sure people have different perspectives, right? And everybody have a different thing that they would like for their organization to be able to achieve, even as you work together. So I'm interested as well in how you settle disagreements or differences of opinions, even on the level of the committee themselves meeting.
What we do, we invite one another to our various functions. So by getting to the functions, we will see your operation and others' operation. Try to understand, of same, have knowledge of same, so that when we are in our churches or temple, or as the case may be, in our deliberation to our congregation, we are letting our congregation know how we can live together. Because many times you will hear people saying that this religious group, they do this religious group or this organization. So we allow them, we tell them that, no, first we must do is to understand, because there is one God. And therefore, everybody, being a faith-based organization, look to that great God, the universal God, the great God that we all look to, because we know too well the great God has told us, many have him, and they are of many fools.
So tell me, in terms of the work that the IRO has been able to do over the years of existence, what are some of the things that you are proudest of?
What the IRO has been doing a lot of interfaith organization, because many government sectors and NGOs, etc., and for instance, and Caribbean Court and many places called IRO to either pray, open their functions, etc. And by IRO present and hearing what is put out by IRO, it encouraged the people that we can be one, walking in love, establishing ourselves in the form of projecting the truth, because truth never dies, it lives on forever. And by that projection, we bring the oneness and the brother love one with the other.
Something that, of course, is critical. Love is
Yes,
the answer
please.
at the end of the day. Bishop, with your role as treasurer, can you share with us, or help us to understand, rather, how the IRO is able to keep on going? Where does the funding come from? Does the funding come from the church, or does it come from numerous bodies?
That is a very interesting question, because IRO right now is struggling financially, because we have, you can say we have nothing, no monies. So by whatever may be contributed, by the various organizations. We try our best to see what we can do with that, but it does not go a long way. So we are hoping that either the government or so, or somebody could give us a stipend or establish something to keep us going, so that if you should call IRO to anything, the individual or the representatives who are going, even if they have to put their hands in their pocket or to transport themselves where it is, by the various organizations giving a little stipend or contribution or donation towards the same, it assists us. So we will be very happy if that is established by the various organizations who call IRO to do anything for them.
So wait, just now, Bishop, when people call already, do charge them?
No, IRO does not charge. You understand? We go freely, and they will give us some do and some don't, because we don't know their pockets, but we are hoping that they understand. Well,
Bishop,
this is what happens at times.
If the government calling you to do a press to open something, you should be charging them. If it's one people they know have money, the government.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned if the government is going, well, that is the reason why we are hoping that we can get something monthly or quarterly or yearly from the government.
I think it should be like you say, right? If you're doing an event, you receive a stipend for coming to that event, so you don't have to spend your money if that is the case. Because if the organization exists to try and bring peace and unity, then I'm not sure how much it costs for peace and unity, how much it has cost to be able to say, well, we're going to pray for the nation as the case may be, but I understand that there's a transport cost. I understand that there's a food cost. I understand those costs. So if you're telling me that per event that you are invited to, there's a stipend attached to it, then all right, yes, I could understand that. But tell me, what does the IRO need money for on a regular basis? What would you need money for on a
regular basis? The IRO need money so that it can function properly in all their undertaking, because IRO is always on the move.
But that's what I'm asking you, Bishop. What are the undertakings?
The undertakings are going to the same various places to perform any function. They have access to come to them and support them, because of the various, for instance, you might have a business and you have Hindu, Muslim, Pentecostal, all various so forth. And they need the various, everybody needs to hear from their sect.
Right.
So as a result, we will send various representatives from the various religious organizations to deliver a word of prayer, as the case may be. And therefore, many people come from very far. So as I was getting at that spot, at that place, and to do the task that we are set out to do, we concentrate on the great I Am to help us to pilot a ride, because some may have transport, some may not have, but they do come. And when we go there, you see, we leave it up to the discretion of the organizers to know that we did not just jump there or fly there, but we did spend certain transportation to get there. So we really leave it up to them to use a discretion and to either impart onto us a stipend, as the case may be. So I am very happy.
You don't make it part of the conversation to say, well, all right, yes, we will come and do your function, right? However, we expect a contribution to the, you're not saying what number, you're not saying what figure, but we expect you to contribute to the IRO so we can keep this business going.
No, you see, we don't want IRO to look as though our purpose of coming is because we want monies. No.
But that's how it's looking right now. You come on TV right now to ask for money as well.
No. If the conversation, we come, God people deny such a conversation unless it is entertained. For instance, if when we reach here or you ask for us, you mention about, well, how much will it cost, or as the case may be,
right.
Well, then we'll have a conversation, etc., to what same, and encourage them that we'll be very happy because RO need monies to do their daily operation.
You know, Bishop, one of the things that definitely speaks to me from this, and I'm sure those who are watching will also be able to take away as we have, is that we're still finding the balance when it comes to tithing, but also being compensated. Because at the end of the day, we can depend on people's goodwill, but we also need to be able to survive in these times. Because as we always say, you can't go to the grocery and say, well, you know,
I went and prayed for them
yesterday, you know.
Pray for food today.
So
Yes.
that is something to keep in mind. Bishop, for those who are interested in getting in touch with the IRO, where can we get more information?
Right, to get in touch with the RO, we normally call the secretary, you know, and the secretary will get on to, may I just say, the secretary.
I have the information here
All right.
for those of you who are
Great.
interested. Yes, Miss Indira Padisi,
Yes,
and her
please.
number is 712-9115. That's the
right.
secretary of the IRO.
Praise.
Yeah. Well,
And
Bishop,
you-
let me say thank you very much for joining us this morning. And I hope that when you get calls in the future, that people do hear the cry and they say, you know, we will definitely be contributing to the IRO.
I'll be very happy if they could hear the cry and somebody in the government. And I must say congratulations from the interreligious organization and to the Mrs.
Kamala Prasad.
Kamala Prasad Biseso for the victory. May God bless and keep her, and may she continue to strive on and be successful, she and her members, in the great united name of God.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning, Bishop.
Thank
Enjoy the
you
rest of
very
your
much.
day.
Blessings to you all, and I would be glad if you all could help us to establish such situations so that the RO could get stronger and stronger and be each and every one brother's keeper.
Well, we've
Blessings
definitely
forever.
given you that platform so that the nation could hear your cries, and hopefully the nation will do the good will and come to your assistance.
Thank you
Ladies
very
and
much.
gentlemen, we take a